So that a squared is half of a to the fourth. And so what we can do when we go to factor it is we can factor it just like we would a regular quadratic. And we can put the negative 12 here and the positive 4 here. So what numbers would work there? What about the signs?
-2.
Yep. And then what do we get here?
A plus 6
A?
and A minus 2.
What do you think? A squared and a squared. So remember, when we multiply, we add those exponents. Those exponents have to add to 4 to give us a 4 there. And then when we multiply that out, we're getting a negative 2a squared and a positive 6a squared, which adds to the 4a squared, that middle exponent. Will either one of those factor again? So let's go back to this problem on the warm-up, the x squared minus 36. Why did that factor? Well, what did it factor to? X plus 6 and x minus 6. So what's the pattern there that tells us an x plus 6, x minus 6? Yes. So you want here, this needs to be a perfect square here. Oops. This needs to be a perfect square. And then the sign, does it matter what the sign is? No? Okay. So would x squared plus 36 factor? 6 and 6? Okay, so let's see. X plus 6, x plus 6. Does that, when we multiply that out, will give us that?
Oh, it's negative.
So it has to be negative because this here would give us x squared. X times x is x squared. And then 36, but we would get the 6x and the 6x. So this would give us 12x plus 36. So we can't factor it when there's an addition there. It has to be subtraction. And then what about this number? What is about that number that means we can factor it? Perfect square. Good vocabulary, Ira. Good. Perfect square. It has to be a perfect square. So can we factor either one of those? No. So we're done on that. Questions on that? We're going to follow that pattern. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing here. So what number goes up on the top on this one? Good. We have to take the 7 times the negative 10, negative 70, and then what multiplies to negative 70? That adds to 33. What about our signs on that 35 and 2? Yep. So we have here 35, positive 35, negative 2, and then x to what exponent? X to the 4th. So this here, since it's half of that, that pattern is going to be that it's going to be the same as that one. Or if we take x to the 4th times x to the 4th, that's going to give us the x to the 8th. So now, though, we have another step next. What comes next? Easy to forget this next step. What do we do next?
Divide.
Yeah, divide by the 7. So in order to make this x work, we had to take the 7 times the negative 10. So we have to divide that 7 out. So it divides out of here, x to the 4th plus 5. And then this 7 slides to the front. 7x to the 4th minus 2. Will either one of those factor again? Why do you think that's going to be? And it's a pain. Neither one of them factor again. Okay, what about this one? Again, 3 terms, trinomial. What goes on the top? What goes on the bottom? -2 and then 1. And what numbers work there?
2, 1. 2 minus
2 and a -1.
and 2.
Do you know what the exponent would be on the m?
M2.
Yep. So m squared plus 2, m squared minus 1. Does either one of those factor again? Again. Which one factors, Leah? Which one can you take the square root of? So we want to know, we wanted something to be a perfect square, so something multiplies by itself to give you that. The -1, that's right. So this one factors again, so the m squared plus 2 stays as is, and this would factor to m, what's the square root of 1? 1, so m plus 1, m minus 1. Questions on that? I know a lot of students have been forgetting that, and I've had lots of questions all day on that, so let me know if you have a question there on that. Okay, number 4. What multiplies to -45 that adds to -12? -15 and 3. So, Eden, what are my exponents going to be on the m?
That's going to be
M third. Yes, good. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. So m to the 3rd, and then we need to divide out our 5 that's here. So we're going to divide a 5. We get m to the 3rd minus 3, and 5m to the 3rd plus 3. Will either one of those factor again? Neither one does. For one thing, this is a minus here, but we can't take the square root of 3, and then this is a m to the 3rd, so we can't, if we're going to do the difference of 2 squares, it's not going to work. This is m to the 3rd. Go ahead and do the U try.
Do you want to put homework?
Sure.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do the you try. Okay, so you should get an answer there of x squared minus 7 times x squared minus 5. Questions on that? Okay, a couple more. What do we do on number 6? So Asan said x squared minus 10. What do you think about that? And then x squared plus 10. What do you think about that? Right. Does either one of those factor again? No, we can take square root of 10, so that's the far we can go. And then what about this one? Yep. And x to the 4th minus 4. Good. Will either one of those factor again? Yes. Which one factors again? The minus 4. So this one is x to the stays x to the 4th plus 4, and this becomes x squared minus 2 and x squared plus 2. Questions on that? Okay, last one. Find all the zeros. So we're first going to set our y value, which is f of x here. Ladies, I'm almost done. 2 more examples. So 0 equals x to the 4th minus 26x squared plus 25. How do we factor that? We're going to make an x. What multiplies to 25 that adds to negative 26? Yep. So we get x squared minus 25, x squared minus 1. Will either one of those factor again? Yes, we can take the square root of both the 25 and the 1, and they're both a minus. They have to be a minus. So x minus 5x plus 5, and x minus 1 x plus 1. So now we've got to do the easiest part, which is zero product property, setting each one equal to 0. We get 5, negative 5, 1, negative 1. How many zeros do we have? How many here? 4. What's my degree here? 4. It matches. So remember, you're looking at the highest exponent, so the degree is 4. So it's going to match. Okay, well, how do we do number 9? That one's going to be a little different, isn't it? First, we're going to set it equal to 0. not a trinomial, is it? How do we factor this one? Grouping, that's right. How did you know that, Emma? Very good. What's that? And so how many terms are there? 4. So 4 terms. So she recognized it from yesterday. There's 4 terms. That's one indication. So we're going to do our grouping. So what's our greatest common factor here? X squared. And then 2x minus 5. What's the greatest common factor on this one?
8.
So an 8 comes out, but there's something even bigger. Negative 16. And 2x minus 5. So this gives us x squared minus 16 times 2x minus 5. And then that's going to factor again, isn't it? X minus 4. X plus 4. 2x minus 5. And then we use our zero product property. And we get x is 4, negative 4, so 4, negative 4, and 5 over 2. How many roots are zeros? 3. What's my degree? 3. So they'll always match. You've done, if it doesn't match, you've done something wrong. Can I get somebody to pass out the worksheet, please?